Every time you look up at the moon, every time you hear about asteroids, craters, or planetary science, you're seeing the world through the eyes of a man who never got to walk there. His name was Eugene Shoemaker. He was a geologist, not an astronaut, not a pilot, not a celebrity. But he trained Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and every Apollo astronaut to read the moon's surface like a map of time. He proved that craters on Earth were made by asteroids, not volcanoes, changing science forever. And he dreamed of walking on the moon himself, but was grounded by illness. When he died in 1999, NASA honored him in the most poetic way possible. They sent his ashes to the moon aboard the Lunar Prospector spacecraft. Today, he is the only human being buried beyond Earth. This is the story of the man who never walked on the moon, but whose legacy is etched into its surface forever. Eugene Shoemaker was born in 1928 in Los Angeles, a quiet boy with a rock collection and a telescope. At 16, he entered Caltech. At 20, he joined the U.S. Geological Survey. He wasn't interested in oil or mines. He was obsessed with impact craters. Back then, scientists believed all craters were volcanic. But Gene saw something else. In the 1950s, he studied Meteor Crater in Arizona, a massive hole in the desert. He found shocked quartz, impact glass, and rare minerals, proof of a violent cosmic collision. He published his findings and was laughed at. Asteroids don't hit Earth, they said. That's science fiction. But Gene persisted. He mapped craters across the U.S. He built the first astrogeology program at the USGS. And when NASA was born in 1958, they came to him, not for rockets, but for rocks. In 1963, NASA asked Gene to train the Apollo astronauts. These were fighter pilots, men who knew speed, not geology. Gene took them to deserts, volcanoes, and impact sites. He taught them to look for layers, fractures, and ejecta, not just take pictures. "You're not tourists," he'd say. "You're field geologists with 20 minutes to change science." He drilled them relentlessly. If they called a rock just a rock, he'd make them try again. He gave them field notebooks, hammers, and a mission. Bring back the story of the moon. By Apollo 11, they were ready. When Armstrong stepped onto the Sea of Tranquility, he didn't just plant a flag. He collected 12 kilograms of lunar soil, because Gene taught him it mattered. Apollo 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, every mission brought back rocks that rewrote planetary science. And behind every sample was Gene's voice. But Gene had a secret dream. He wanted to go himself. He applied to be an astronaut scientist. He passed every test except one. A medical exam revealed Addison's disease, a hormonal disorder. NASA grounded him in 1963. His dream was over. Gene didn't quit. He kept mapping craters. In 1994, he co-discovered Comet Shoemaker-Levy 9, the first comet seen colliding with Jupiter. It proved his life's work. Cosmic impacts are real, frequent, and dangerous. But on July 18, 1997, while studying a crater in Australia, Gene and his wife Carolyn were hit by a car. He died instantly. She survived. The scientific world mourned. But NASA had one last gift. In 1998, they launched the Lunar Prospector, a probe to map the moon's surface. Hidden in its payload was a small polycarbonate capsule containing Gene's ashes. On July 31, 1999, the probe was deliberately crashed into a crater near the moon's south pole. so Gene could finally rest where he always wanted to be. A plaque on the capsule reads, "In memory of Eugene Shoemaker, whose work on impact craters and comets helped us understand the history of the Earth and Moon." Today, millions know Armstrong's name. Few know Shoemaker's. Why? Because history celebrates those who step into the spotlight, not those who prepare the stage. But without Gene, Apollo astronauts would have brought back random rocks. We wouldn't know the moon's origin. We wouldn't take asteroid threats seriously. Planetary science might still be a footnote. He didn't seek fame. He sought understanding. And in doing so, he gave humanity a new way to see the cosmos. So next time you look at the moon, remember the man who taught us how to read its scars. Remember Eugene "Gene" Shoemaker, the geologist who never walked on the moon, but whose spirit is now part of it forever. Because history forgets the quiet ones. But we don't have to. If this story moved you, share it, so his name lives on.